Hi, welcome back to You Handled That Perfectly. I'm Carly.
And I'm Kelly.
And if you're just joining us for the first time, we are best friends, moms, and entrepreneurs. And we like to talk about the messy, beautiful, usually chaotic life that is balancing motherhood, business,
All the
all
things.
the things in general.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you here.
Thanks for joining us. Let's get into it.
Today, we are going to talk about back to school. But not back to school in the here's what you need to do to prep for back to school. It's more about the emotion that comes with sending your kids back to school.
The good, the bad, and everything in between.
Yeah, all your kids are feeling emotional. You're probably feeling emotional because your kids are growing up. There's just a lot that goes with it. There's new dynamics, there's new friends, there's new teachers, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the logistics that you have to think about with going back to school. And just in general, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
So you're going to be exhausted when your kids eventually do start their first day, and they're going to be exhausted. I mean, it's
Yeah.
tough going from a relatively loose schedule summer, as I'm sure most of us have, to a rigid, for them, what, 8 to 2, 8 to 3, whatever it is, whatever your kid has, like that's a lot. And there's going to be a lot of emotions at the end of the day for them. And there's going to be a lot of emotions throughout the course of the day for all of us.
Yeah. This morning, actually, my son came in and we were snuggling. And then he said, "What do I need for school?" 'Cause he's never
Aw.
been. Well, he's been to Montessori school, but he's never been to public school and a big school. And so he goes, "What do I need for school?" And, Tim and I were like, "Well, we'll help you plan everything and figure out, a backpack." And I said, "Most of your supplies are provided. You just need your backpack." And you can take a notebook and some pencils, but we'll get you everything you need. And so then he was just like, okay, like I can handle that.
Yeah.
But I can tell he's already thinking about the change
Oh,
that's
it's
coming.
huge.
It's such a big change.
I mean, despite the fact that he's used to being at Montessori school, like you said, it's just a lot. There are a lot more kids, a lot more teachers, whether he's interacting with them or not. I know you guys have looked at the playground for the last year, so he can kind of try to get used to it. And I remember that with my son too. It's like, okay,
Yeah, back to school night, we went through the TK classrooms so he could
yeah,
see. And I even said to him, because he's been doing TK work this whole last year, I even said to him, like, you're probably going to be the smartest one in your class. So you need to be a helper and make sure, like, if they're learning something you already know, then you are there to support others.
yeah, TK is really about the social emotional learning at that point.
Yeah,
And so that's a big change.
I know. And he goes, "But I don't know subtraction yet." Like, neither do
Yeah.
they. The fact that you know addition is a big come up.
Yeah.
So,
And even if they aren't going into a new school, it's still an adjustment.
yeah.
Their mind remembers things from the end of the last year, whether that's the group they were hanging out with or the conflict they had, or if it's just all good things. Can the new year live up to the expectation? Like, there's just a lot.
I feel like that was the difference between 2nd and 3rd grade for my daughter.
Yeah.
Was 2nd grade was so great, and then 3rd grade didn't live up to that expectation.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
And so she had a really rough 3rd grade. I'm praying that 4th grade is better.
Yeah. We got
I
this.
think it will be. 4th grade's so much fun.
I don't specifically remember fourth
Of course you
grade, but
don't. I do. I
yeah,
have very specific memories from 4th grade.
that's so cool.
Yeah, I had a great teacher, Mrs. Storm.
Wow.
I know. And we had a TA, Mrs. Yip, and she was great too. And
I can't believe you remember this level of detail. Like, I need to do some research on is there something wrong with me that I
I could tell
cannot?
you where the classroom was
It's
at my
wild.
school. I can picture the classroom.
I have vague recollections of that, like my kindergarten first, second, and 5th. I could tell you where the classrooms were, but
Interesting.
anything else?
Yeah, I think I can remember where pretty much all my classrooms were, but this one was just it was a really good year. Mrs. Storm was amazing. I struggled with my handwriting, which is probably crazy to hear
Oh,
now because such a perfectionist now when it
yeah.
comes to my handwriting, but I really struggled. And for a long time, every day after school, Mrs. Storm stayed after and helped me with my handwriting. And we
Oh,
went through and did
wow.
handwriting exercises.
Well, no
And
wonder you remember her.
yeah, she
That's
put
really
in a
cool.
lot of effort with me. And Mrs. Yip, it was her husband who worked at SeaWorld. And so we got to go behind the scenes at SeaWorld that year.
Oh,
It was the gold rush. I mean, I remember so
wow.
much about fourth grade. I loved it.
Wow, that's really neat.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about your son going into TK and what that can be like emotionally and even, being a helper, the social emotional aspect of that grade, them gaining more independence. But let's talk about as they get a little bit older too. Do we see this manifest differently in different age groups? And I would say, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like you said with your daughter, there was that kind of expectation of school's going to rock just like it did every other
Yeah.
year. And then it was a bit of a letdown. And so now it's sort of, I wonder if that will change how she goes into the year. Maybe hoping for the best, but not so disappointed if there's a down day.
Yeah. I hope that she does. And it was interesting because for all of the previous years, I've kind of done some research and requested teachers, and for 3rd grade, I didn't. And so it was kind of like, "Okay, well, you're just gonna get who you get. Your current teacher told me you're gonna love her." We went with that, and so when we got the thing with our teacher's name, we didn't recognize it.
Mhm.
So it was hard for me to be like, "This is your teacher. We're so excited," because, like, we didn't know who it was gonna be. We got there, and I immediately really liked her teacher, but she was very apprehensive, my daughter.
Oh. Yeah, the unknown.
Yeah. And so it's interesting too looking back at first day of school pictures because in all the ones leading up, she was excited, she was happy, and then in this one, she's like, "I don't know."
This was also the first year that our girls didn't have their first day of school getting on campus ritual together. And I
Yeah.
know for my kids that was different.
That was really different. Plus, another one of her friends moved away as well. Another one of her best friends had moved away.
Mhm.
And so that was different. I talked to her teacher, her current teacher, about who is going to be her teacher for 4th grade. And it wasn't who I had requested, but she reassured me that it's gonna be a great teacher for her, and we'll see what happens. She said anything can change over the summer, but as far as I know, this is gonna be your daughter's teacher, and she's the best. And I was
Oh.
like, "Okay."
Yeah.
This teacher and my daughter's 3rd grade teacher are good friends,
Yeah.
so she wanted to make sure that my daughter was in a good class.
That brings up a good point.
Yeah.
We set the tone for our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, not only do we talk about the nervous system regulation of it all, calm mom, calm kids, but we have to remember that our demeanor, all of that, like you said, your excitement, and now you know who her teacher is, so you know how you're going to react to it and all that. I mean, I dare say, like, up until at least high school, that's one of the most important things.
Yeah, I think so because when showed a little bit of apprehension because we checked the site together. And so I didn't recognize the name, I didn't know who it was, so I couldn't be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so exciting."
Yeah.
I tried,
Yeah. But you're like,
but she could tell, she could see right through me. And so this time I kind of let her know that maybe she wasn't gonna get the teacher she's hoping for next year,
mm-hmm.
so that there's no disappointment when she sees who her teacher is.
And she's already been through that this year, so I
Yeah,
think she'll just go into it with that sort of mature attitude from
yeah.
what she gained this year. I mean,
I think
it's part of growing
so.
up.
Yeah, I think so, and disappointment's part of life too. You're not gonna always get everything that you want, and maybe
Yeah.
that's okay because maybe it's what you need, but that is all part of growing up too.
as we have said, your son is starting at a new school, but our other combined 3 children are just moving up a grade. There are definitely ups and downs with that, but then there are the milestone ones where in a few years our girls will be going off to middle school, and that's its own kind of preparation.
Yeah, I can't think about that. Can't even believe you'd bring that up right now. It
Well,
is its own, though. I mean,
yeah.
for those of you watching or listening that have kids going into middle school, how are you doing? Reach out to us. Give us all your tips.
Yeah. And we haven't even gotten into the mom of it all. Do we wanna switch gears and talk about us with
We
our
should
prep?
always talk about us.
As moms, your kids go to school. Let's say your TKer was your first. You think, "I'm gonna have all this time."
Joke's on you.
Yeah. That's like saying nap when the baby naps,
Yeah.
because either your baby doesn't nap or you have stuff to do.
Yeah.
So, how would you recommend to someone who is a first time mom going into school, how would you recommend they prep?
Know that there's going to be silence.
Mhm.
Prep for the quiet because I don't know about your guys' kids, but mine are very chatty.
Yes.
And my son, especially, he's so loud. We tell him all the time and he'll say it about himself.
Yeah.
He'll be like, I know I'm being loud right now. We're like, you're always loud. And we don't say it as a bad thing because we
Yeah.
think he's great and fine. Talk, be loud, be yourself. But it was something and he has gone to different schools and daycares and things, so for me, it won't be as much, and my daughter went to daycare too and Montessori school, so it won't be as much of a change to
Mhm.
have the quiet, but I think if you're a stay-at-home mom, and you can speak more to this than I can, when they go to school, all of a sudden you get home and it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's probably how empty nesters feel too.
Oh, yeah, like dropping your last kid off at college and coming home.
What is
Oof.
that?
I don't know, I don't wanna think about it.
Yeah, we're breaking up a lot of emotional things today. We're going to do a whole episode on moms and how schedules change once your kids go to school. But
Yeah.
I think it's just being as mentally prepared as you can for that drop off. I know for me, I wasn't expecting to feel as emotional as I was on my daughter's first day of kindergarten. And I remember turning to my husband and being like, I'm going to cry.
And you're not a crier.
No.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to cry. What is the sensation?
What is this water coming from my eyes?
But he was like, "Okay."
Yeah. As he's probably already, like,
Oh, he
crying.
had already cried 5 times that day probably. But it was like, I wasn't prepared for how emotional I was going to feel in that moment of leaving her at kindergarten, and I think that part of it is that that stuff at the Texas school had just happened.
Oh.
I was so anxious to take her to kindergarten and take her to this school, and I remember standing in her classroom and Tim saying, "Do we just leave her?"
Right?
I'm like, "I no, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't just leave her here at this big school by herself.
I know.
What am I, insane?" But it's just a crazy thing, and I remember talking to my therapist about how I was gonna do it,
Yeah.
and my therapist had a son the same age,
Oh.
and she was like, "I don't know."
If you figure it out, tell me.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, "I don't know how we're gonna do this, this is really hard, it's so emotional." And so I think that the best thing you can do is just allow yourself to feel those emotions and know that they're coming.
Yep.
I was caught off guard by how emotional I was on her first day of kindergarten.
But also, I mean, not that you wanna be caught off guard, but also, we've talked about this in terms of feeling emotions. It's okay to just wait and feel it when it comes and not
Yeah.
stress about feeling it before.
Yeah,
So, while you don't wanna necessarily be caught off guard, like, at least you didn't spend the whole summer stressing.
that's
Silver
true.
lining.
That's true. Yeah, and maybe emotions always catch me off guard.
Yeah. Tears, definitely.
Yeah, and I that's a good point, yeah. You're going to feel the emotions
Yeah.
at the time, so don't waste your energy worrying about emotions you're gonna feel later.
Yes.
Just be present as present as you can be.
Yeah. When I asked you that question, I was thinking of my answer too, and what I thought, this doesn't really help a mom who is going into that now, but what I thought is if you're not there yet, start early and start slow, because as a stay-at-home mom, a lot of moms are with their kids all the time.
Yeah.
My kids are only a little over 2 years apart in age, and so it was always the 3 of us, and I did have the foresight to put them into a part-time program beforehand, and we got really lucky. This was an indoor-outdoor preschool, amazing social emotional learning. So they went into school maybe not being as book smart, like you said, like, your son has been doing addition and spelling and all this stuff, like, my kids definitely weren't there when they went into kindergarten and TK respectively.
Not every kid needs to be.
Right, and I think that's what I knew for my kids too is, like, we are very close, and that was gonna be harder for them. So, as they eased into I mean, honestly, I think my daughter might have gone 1 or 2 days a week for 2.5 hours. And then by the time we were done at that school, she was there 5 days a week for 4 hours. So then when she went into kindergarten and she had 5 days a week for 6 hours, it wasn't as big of a change.
It was just the next step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think I mean, that's not always possible, but when you're talking about, like, from the perspective of a stay-at-home mom, there's that guilt of, "Well, I'm home with my kids," but part of your job is to I mean, a huge part of your job, your whole job is to help them learn, is to teach them, is to love them, and helping these transitions go smoother is part of that. And so if you're able to ease yourself and ease them into it, I say do it.
Yeah, and a slow progression of helping them learn to spend less time with you
Yeah, I mean,
and be
fos
okay.
yes, like fostering that independence. I see kids now, probably not our daughter's age, but definitely my son's age, who still have a hard time at drop off. And I just thank my lucky stars that my kids were able to progress gradually. I mean, I don't think it's any fault of any parents if your kid doesn't, but I just think I was glad that I was able to help them in that journey the way that it turned out.
Yeah. I feel really fortunate that my son will have my daughter.
Oh my gosh. Same. I mean, that was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. And it's so cute because when we were doing all the drop-offs this year leading up to it and prepping, my daughter would say, "Okay, and then I'm gonna walk him to his classroom, and then I'll walk to my classroom," because we always say bye at the gate, and so she
Mhm.
wants to make sure that we can still say bye at both gates.
Yeah.
But they're doing a new thing where TK and Kinder are all gathering in the multipurpose room
Oh,
and
interesting.
then walking over as classes together to their classrooms instead of on the playground
All
or
year?
yeah.
Very interesting.
So I was like, "Well, you can just walk him to the multipurpose room. We can say bye to you at your gate. We can go
Yeah.
over and say bye to him at his gate." It's gonna make for a longer morning, but it's worth it.
You know, you bring up a really good point though, that you weren't saying in as many words, but like the routine of it.
Yeah.
Like create a routine with your kids, talk about it ahead of time because I think we talked about in one of the last episodes, I said I like to do things the second time because I know what to expect. And that's just like kids.
Yeah.
They they just like whether they realize it or not, they like to have that structure.
They thrive on routine.
Yeah.
My son asked me the other day why we always do the same thing every night. Why do we always do the same
Oh
thing?
my
Why do we
gosh.
have to brush teeth and then read books and then go to bed? I'm like, "Well, because it's a good bedtime routine,
Yeah.
sir. Now just do it."
Now do it. I mean, that's just life. Like, there are
Yeah.
certain things that you have to do every day, and you just pretty much do them in the same order.
To make sure that you do them all.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I would forget to do something.
so true.
If I didn't have my morning and night routine, I think I would forget something
Yeah.
and then later think, "Oh, shoot, I was supposed to do that."
Well, habit stacking. I mean, we're literally practicing what we preach right
You
there.
love habit stacking. You love telling me that I love habit stacking.
Because I think that there's a lot of things you do innately as a person and
Yeah.
as a mom that other people just don't think of. And so I think it's important to point out the impact of it.
Yeah. I never knew that that's what it was called, I guess. I
Yeah.
just do them. Yeah. That's funny. But I think we have to realize too that as moms and as our kids grow, they say, "Yeah, this is your kid's first time as a kid, but it's your first time as a mom, and we're all
Yes.
growing and learning too." And sending them to school, however you're going to do that, if it's a public school, private school, homeschool. Even with homeschool, I think they still go into something sometimes. Like
Mhm.
there's a group.
Yeah, there can be a couple times a week. I mean, it can
Yeah.
be more than that, yeah.
Yeah. So there's still a time when you're sending them off. Whether or not we realize it, it's emotional.
I just realized that we haven't said kind of the one most important thing, the reason we started this podcast, this community, build community,
Yeah.
join a community. And that's good for your kids. That's good for you. And I don't mean you have to go out and be social every day, but join the Facebook group for the school your kid is going into so that you know what's going on. You can do a temperature check on the families there and the involvement and what the routine is like. I mean,
Yeah. So often the teachers are in those groups too. So you can,
yes.
because I've asked, who's the best second grade teacher, and one of the teachers chimed in and she's like, I hear this one's great.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
But
good
even
to know.
but even if it's offline too, I remember two of still like my best mom friends are ones that I met in the pickup line at TK with my son.
Yeah.
And when we switched schools, one of the moms was like, "Wait, who am I going to text who knows all the information for every school activity?" And it's true, like I like being
You
that
do.
mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like find yourself one of those or be one of those for someone.
Yeah. I've made mom friends through chaperoning or pickup or
Mhm.
whatever it is, or just the friends that my daughter is friends with, and then you get to know the parent, and that's really nice too, and it's a nice way to, I mean, you already have something in common, so
Yeah.
you can build on that,
Even the school, like, I know we've talked about that. We volunteer enough where it's like the front offices know us.
even if they pretend they don't.
But it's like even that is being a part of the community, you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I mean, if they pretend they don't know you.
I'd go in there for 5 years. The lady at the front office still looks at me like she's never seen me before.
ID.
Yeah,
Oh, good times.
but that's what you want though too.
Of course.
Somebody who's gonna scare you a little
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Some other things to think about, if you have older kids, older than ours, we aren't here yet, thank goodness, but if you are, sorry.
Oof.
But the social pressure, social media, phones, technology, when do you provide those things? What does that all look like? My cousin actually said that what they do is they have like the iPhone in the kitchen that's their home phone.
Mhm.
And I'm loving that. We'll probably do something similar so that my daughter doesn't feel left out, but also doesn't have her own phone in her room.
It's funny because you had texted me the other day about new phones that are coming out, and I was in the
Yeah.
kitchen with my family, and I said something, and I made the comment that I eventually would like to get something like a flip phone for my daughter, and she was horrified. I think I called it a dumb phone just for comparison's sake, but I said, "I just want her to be able to text and call." And the fact that I don't plan to give her an iPhone was shocking information.
I had a very similar conversation with my daughter. She
Yes.
said something, "When I get an iPhone," and I go, "I never said you were getting an iPhone."
Yeah. So
I
we
said phone.
Yeah, so we are entering into those conversations
Yeah.
just I know the sleepover conversation is coming up for us more and more.
Okay, so I have to admit this because last year I said we're a no sleepover family, but my daughter did actually go to her first slumber party and everything turned out fine. She
Yeah.
had a great time. We knew the family actually we also have a mutual friend with the family, so I reached out to them too and they said, "No, it's fine." And actually their daughter was there too, so
You have to trust your
it was
gut.
great. Yeah, she had a really good time, but we actually did break that um, rule we had.
Mhm.
And we told her that even though it's a yes this time, it's not always a yes, and in the future it could be a no for whatever reason, and that has to be okay.
That is a great point too when we're talking about these older kids because there is a lot of so and so is doing this and they come home and they want to do this. And I know my kids are sick of hearing this. I'm not so and so's mom. You're not so and so.
Yeah,
Every family is different. Every kid is different. Every dynamic is different. You have no idea what goes on in their home. I know a lot of their friends have iPhones for particular reasons or not for particular reasons, just because that's what has happened.
yeah,
But that kind of stuff is never going to influence how we do things.
right.
Just like you said, you didn't give in to a sleepover. You did your research and you
Yeah,
decided as a family that that was something you were all comfortable with.
and actually we decided outside of my daughter,
Mhm.
my husband and I had conversations, we talked to the family, we talked to this other family, we found out everybody who was gonna be there, we did all of this due diligence, and then my daughter knew she was going over there for an end of the school year party, but we never told her that she could stay the night until we were 100%.
Yeah.
We knew that some kids were staying the night and some weren't. So it would have been fine either way. But we just said, okay, we decided that you can spend the night. And she freaked out. She was so excited.
Oh.
She had so much fun. She took her watch. She texted me good night, all the things. So,
I think that's another great thing about finding a community, building a community, whatever it is. The great thing about the world today is you can pretty much always find someone in a similar situation. So, like you said, when you talk to your daughter about not doing a sleepover, well, Kelly's daughter is not going to do sleepovers. I don't mean comparison in a bad way. It's just sort of like that camaraderie. Because I was thinking
yeah,
about the girl or one of the girls I know that wasn't spending the night at that sleepover. And, I know her family. And that would have also been a great thing that you could have told your daughter.
right.
It's great that there's sort of like always support where you
Yeah,
need it in the way that you need it.
yeah,
And just to cement in more of like every family is different,
yeah, yeah.
which is what makes this all so great.
And things happen at different times for different kids too.
Yes.
My son was very confused that my daughter wasn't there that night.
Oh,
And he said, "Oh, I know she's at a slumber party," but he didn't what does he know about slumber parties? He doesn't know anything about it. So, it was just an interesting
yeah.
dynamic that night, and we said, "Well, it's your like, you get all of our attention. It's
Yes.
your special night." And, we went out for McDonald's ice cream and did some fun stuff with him too, so it was great.
That's what we do with my son when my daughter spends the night with my parents. And it's funny because I said slumber party the other day and my son cracked up. Like he had never heard that.
Oh, funny.
And he's like, party? Ah. Like it was, he just, it didn't compute. He understood
Yeah.
the slumber part, but he's like, party. I'm like, oh man, so
Oh, I get
funny.
it. My first sleepover, because it was just me at a friend's house, and the friend lived down the street, 5 houses down and across the street,
Oh,
and I was little. I was really young. I was probably 5 or
oh
6.
wow.
Yeah, but we had known this family and it was on my same street.
Yeah.
Well, here's a big shocker that when I was 5 or 6, I was literal as I am today. And they told me I was going to a sleepover at Sarah's house. I said, "Okay." So I went, I slept. At about 6:30, I woke up and I walked home.
Oh my
I
gosh.
slept over.
Oh my gosh.
How terrified do you think Sarah's mom was
When you were
when I
gone.
was gone the next morning?
Oh my gosh. I pictured like a handkerchief on a stick, you walking home, like
Let's always picture it that way.
okay.
You just never know what your kids are gonna do or what you're gonna go through.
My most memorable sleepover, and I don't know if I've mentioned this in an episode before, was in about 7th grade when I had a girlfriend spend the night, and we made breakfast at 2 a.m.
I bet your
Um,
mom loved that.
oh my gosh. I had no idea, like, even at the time why she was so mad, and now I'm thinking, like, we made an omelet at 2 a.m. I don't know what we were thinking, like, "This'll reheat." Bran muffins. I
Oh
mean,
my
we thought it
gosh.
was really nice, but now I'm thinking, "Oh my gosh, if my daughter did that, I would be horrified."
And I get it now too. I did a lot of sleepovers at my friend Emily's house, and her mom was always so patient with us.
Oh,
But I think back on it and think, "Oh my gosh, we were so
yeah.
obnoxious."
Yeah. The one time your daughter slept here for the night when you guys were out of town, they were young
Yeah.
and they had very different sleeping habits,
Yeah.
and so I was trying to manage knowing both of the ways that they are, and so I kept having to go in and kinda moderate, and I think they were like, "Gosh, why are you so annoying? Why are you so mad?" I'm
They
like,
didn't say that, but she did say that the slumber party at her friend's house was very different than the one she had here.
"Yeah, I would imagine." I was, like,
Oh,
actually trying to get them to sleep. Our daughters can do sleepovers, and I think, like, once they're at an age where that feels appropriate, I'm just gonna, like
you just have to let it go.
yeah, keep my ears open, obviously, and be around, be available, but, yeah, not micromanaging at that
Yeah, just be
age.
the Judy Carlstrom of the house and let it go.
Amazing.
Because we knew she was there. She was close by.
Exactly.
If we needed her, she was right there. She was wonderful,
Yeah.
and so we knew that. But also, she just accepted
Yeah.
how things were going to be when we were together.
Well, and it just goes to show you that you have to be comfortable with not only do you need to feel like your kid is gonna be comfortable, you have to be comfortable. My daughter was way too young for sleepover as far as, like, her emotional maturity. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
I don't know how we got off on that tangent, but there are things that are coming
Yeah.
and things that come with every single grade
Yeah.
that are going to shift the dynamic of how you parent.
They're gonna be challenging for your kids, challenging for you in a different way.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here for all of it.
Yeah. And I think too, like we said, I just want to rehash this is that that's all coming, but it doesn't mean you have to worry about all of it now.
Agreed.
Cross that bridge when you come to it, worry about it at the time. There'll be plenty of time to worry. There's always time for that,
Yeah.
but don't do it now
And that doesn't mean stick your head in the sand, but also don't stress yourself out with the planning.
or with the what ifs.
Yeah, because that is gonna also ruin the experience for you. And I liked what you said before. Yes, this is their childhood, but this is also our motherhood. And we are allowed to enjoy that as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why we're here.
And if you have children going into grades above fourth, chime in with your tips.
Yes, please.
We need them.
Yeah. Can't wait to hear the expert parenting advice.
I know.
Love it.
Me too. Well, thanks for joining us. This was a fun topic.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah. And in case no one told you today,
You handled that perfectly.
bye.
Bye.